If you've never cracked open a pack of 1978 Topps football cards when they were brand new, you may not fully appreciate all it has to offer. For instance, did you know that 2 of the top 10 rushers of all time have cards in the 1978 Topps set? Or that one of those guys has his rookie card in there? Or that another 3 running backs from that set once resided in the yardage top 10? Or that the set features 3 rookie cards of Hall of Famers? Or that the set is generally loaded with Hall of Fame cardboard across all positions, rookies or otherwise? 57 Hall of Fame cards by my count. If you didn't, well, maybe it's time you take a look. To help you get started, here are the 12 most valuable 1978 Topps football cards as listed in the PSA Sports Market Report price guide for copies in PSA 8 condition. If you're old enough to remember when Tony Dorsett was the hottest whippersnapper who came into the NFL fresh off a Heisman Trophy and threatened to steal Walter Payton's thunder, well, we might just be able to be friends in a sporty sort of way. And if you're doubly ticked off that Dorsett rode the big blue star of the Dallas Cowboys to even more flash whiz bang popularity, we should probably compare Matt Suey collections someday. Of course, it turns out that the former Pitt standout, Dorsett that is, really was a pretty good running back. Historically good, in fact. When all was said and done, Dorsett rushed for over 1,000 yards a season 8 times en route to his nearly 13,000 for his career. He also picked up 3,500 plus yards receiving and 90 touchdowns. Oh yeah, Dorsett was an easy election to the Hall of Fame in 1994, and his rookie card easily tops this list at $45 in PSA 8. Walter Payton, on the other hand, spent the sweet spot of his career toiling for crud to mediocre Chicago Bears teams. Everything he did, he had to do on his own. For instance, the night Payton rushed for 275 yards in 1977, some folks estimate he actually ran for something like 11.5 miles, owing it to all the back and forth crisscrossing juking he had to do. And sure, the Bears finally got real good, better than the Cowboys even there in the 1980s, but Walter's legs were like 40% jelly by that point. Even so, he retired as the game's all-time leading rusher and still stands at number 2 behind Emmitt Smith. Darn Cowboys. Today, Peyton's third-year card hammers down at around $25 in PSA 8. By the time John Stallworth scored Topps rookie card, he already had 4 years under his belt with the Pittsburgh Steelers. To Topps' credit, though, Stallworth's breakout season didn't come until 1977, when he nabbed 44 balls for 784 yards and 7 touchdowns. Such is life for those legendary Steelers teams of the 1970s that a talent like Stallworth could go relatively underutilized and unappreciated in the glare of teammates like Franco Harris and Lynn Swann. Today, though, Stallworth is enshrined in Canton, and his 1978 Topps rookie card is a $15 buy in PSA 8. And speaking of Bradshaw, the man with the most amazing Super Bowl machine we'd ever seen until Joe Montana and Tom Brady came along. With nearly 28,000 yards passing, 212 touchdowns, and 4 Super Bowl rings, Bradshaw remains a popular figure in the game and the hobby today. Of course, his ongoing status as an NFL commentator and wise guy doesn't hurt that standing at all. This 1978 Topps card usually sells for 10 plus in PSA 8. Even if you're old enough to remember Fred Dean playing for the San Diego Chargers, you might not remember Fred Dean playing for the San Diego Chargers. And you're really not likely to remember him playing just 3 games for the San Diego Chargers in 1981 before a contract dispute convinced the Bolts to send him to the San Francisco 49ers. Or maybe you do, I don't know. What's important is that trade sort of upset the balance of things in the NFL, with Joe Montana's high-powered offense getting some defensive beef to back it up, and Dan Faust's high-powered offense, Air Coryell, losing some defensive beef that had backed it up, if quietly. Dean was a key member of 2 49er Super Bowl seasons, and he's a Hall of Famer to boot. So yeah, his rookie card will cost you $10 or more in PSA 8. Roger Staubach was 84 years old when his 1978 Topps football cards started popping out of wax packs. He only had a few more seasons in him before Danny White took his job, but Staubach was a Navy legend, and a Cowboys legend, and a Super Bowl legend. Still is, which means his card remains popular all these years later. This one is about a $12 item in PSA 8. Was Cowboys defensive end Ed Jones really too tall? Well, at 6 feet 9 inches, he certainly wasn't easy to see over if you were an opposing quarterback. And his long arms certainly played a role in the 57.5 sacks he recorded, beginning in 1982 when sacks became a thing. But he was just right to become yet another Cowboys hero, though you have to wonder if his huge frame is just too big for Canton. Why else would he not be in the Hall of Fame? Regardless, Too Tall's 1978 Topps card sells for around $12 today. Ted Hendricks is just one of two players who were born in Guatemala to ever appear in the NFL. The other was defensive back John Hendy, who was a starter with the Chargers in 1985, but never made it into a game in the league thereafter. Hendricks, meanwhile, is a four-time All-Pro linebacker who recorded 26 interceptions and piled up a mountain of stunned ball carries in his 15-year career with the Colts, Packers, and Raiders. Guess which one is in the Hall of Fame? Yeah, that's right, and his 1978 Topps card will run you about $10 in PSA 8. Tom Jackson is the one guy who does all sorts of things for ESPN on the football front. No, not him, the other guy. Jackson is the one who retired in 2016 and won the Pete Rozelle Award for Excellence in Broadcasting from the Hall of Fame in 2015. Before that, Jackson was an All-Pro linebacker who helped the Denver Broncos get to the Super Bowl twice. He couldn't save either Craig Morton or John Elway, though. And for that, Jackson's rookie card checks in at about $10 and graded near mint condition. Injuries and turnovers for the New York Jets kept KLECKO moving around the defensive line during his 11-year tenure. Through it all, though, KLECKO proved to be a star, or so much of a star as a 1980s defensive lineman could be, and racked up 4 Pro Bowl appearances, 2 All-Pro honors, and 24 sacks. To this point, KLECKO remains on the outside looking in at Canton, even though you can make a case he is better than some already on the inside. And even though he spent a season late in his career with the Indianapolis Colts. Even so, his rookie card is a $10 item in PSA 8. So Tony Dorsett led the Cowboys with 1,007 yards rushing as a rookie in 1977, which helped with that sheen we talked about above. It also netted him the prime position on this 1978 Topps team leader card, along with Drew Pearson, Oscar Gamble is calling, Cliff Harris, whose rug got blown to the side of his head, and Rodney Martin, who was just really happy to be there. This bonus Dorsett rookie card sells for around $10 in PSA 8. This card commemorates that Sweetness Marathon run referenced above. It's a great action card, just like all Peyton action cards, though not as great as his 1982 where he's parallel to the ground. Sweetness equals greatness. Nah, greatest. You can think otherwise, but hey, you're all wrong sometimes. This gem is a $9 buy in slab near mint condition. If you like this video, remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel, waxpackgods.com.